Hello everybody, my name is Jordan Arell, and this is my first ever video I'm making geared toward the Effective Altruism community. It's a video about career because that's what I'm focusing on right now, and I just wrote a post about this for the Effective Altruism forum. I will leave that in the description of this video so you can read that if you prefer to read it. But yeah, here I just wanted to kind of riff on it and talk about it and give a little bit different perspective, the spoken version, or if you just prefer the spoken version. And basically what I'm doing here is just asking for career advice. Like, I really need help right now. It would so change my life if I got better insights into this. I think I could have a much better impact and change the world in a positive way, which is the goal of the Effective Altruism movement, is to figure out how to use our lives, use our resources to have the greatest positive impact on the world that we possibly can. Using evidence, using reasoning to figure out how to really have the best impact. So this is my reasoning of my current career choice and the two options that I have. And if you have any insights, things I'm missing, if you have relevant experience in the things I'm talking about, yeah, any advice, any questions or feedback of any kind is really appreciated. I'll kind of outline what my key uncertainties are. So right now, I am living in Los Angeles. I came here to originally do a Master of Social Work degree, but dropped out of that program and decided to instead do a Master of Social Entrepreneurship degree, and that starts in June. So I'm somewhat excited for it, but I feel somewhat ambiguous about it. It would be a master's degree in social entrepreneurship. It's 30 credits. It would take 1 to 2 years, and so that's one option basically. The other option is that I just discovered the Effective Altruism movement actually just a few months ago in January, but it's very much along the lines I'd been thinking for a long time. I'm really interested in helping people. I'm really interested in the long-term future, which is something that effective altruists think about a lot. There's so many people in the long-term future that really the most impact you can probably have is affecting the long-term future. This is something I've thought about a lot and wrote a book on even. So my thinking is that what I could do right now is move to the San Francisco Bay Area, where there's a very high concentration. It's one of the world hubs of effective altruism. Los Angeles isn't super huge. There's some there, but it's not huge. And I could really do much more in effective altruism career, whether that's a community building career, helping build up the effective altruism community, whether that is writing and speaking and making videos and really communicating to people about the importance of effective altruism and helping kind of raise the awareness that this is something we should be doing. I think it's super important. Or doing entrepreneurship and creating an organization. My top idea is a hybrid social stock market, which could basically replace capitalism, and it would tax all of the negative things that companies do, all of the negative externalities, whether that's polluting, whether that's whatever, harming people, and it would subsidize positive things like charities that are saving lives, charities that are making people healthier, happier. Anything that you can measure, you can give money to that in direct proportion to how much these companies, these organizations are improving people's lives. So the hybrid social stock market would just have for-profit and non-profit organizations, and every company would gain not just a financial return based on their profitability, but also on their impact. So it would potentially be a way to continually fund positive impact and really incentivize extremely impactful companies, and reduce negative externalities of companies. And if it replaced capitalism, it could have a somewhere in the range of a $250 impact, because it would make the entire world system of capital somewhere in the range of 2 to 10 times more effective, I would guess. So, you see, all that to say, entrepreneurship. I could start my own organization. That's one idea I have. I could do other advocacy and research on long-termism and these ideas about how to have the biggest long-term impact on the future possible. It's something I've thought about a lot, wrote a book on, but could do more research on, and really help increase the thinking on these ideas that are very important. So I could do all of those things. Those would probably try them out one by one. I can go between them. I can do multiple of them. And I could do all of those in the Bay Area. But first and foremost, actually what I would do is probably start a car sharing or expand a car sharing business that I have through the Turo app, which allows me to make about, if I work 10 hours, I can make about $50,000 a year, 10 hours a week. If I work 20 hours a week might be what I would actually do, and I could make $100,000 per year. And with that much money, or maybe even a little bit more than that, I would be able to retire within 5 years or so, and I could then spend the rest of my life on impact. I don't need much money to get by. I'm pretty humble, and I think other things I'm doing will eventually generate money, but it would be really, really nice to build up those savings by doing this car sharing business. So between these two paths, going to the Bay Area, doing car sharing to support myself and generate savings, and then simultaneously, or certainly after I finish, I would work on these various effective altruism projects. The main uncertainty I have is that right now, if I do the degree in social entrepreneurship, it feels like it might be a bit of a waste of time. I would be doing this thing that's not that valuable. No one cares if you have a social entrepreneurship degree, really. It might help a little bit in some jobs, but ideally I don't really want to have jobs that I have to apply for. I, again, want to support myself and do entrepreneurship, so that doesn't really matter. The biggest benefit would probably be that I'd spend 1 or 2 years of very regimented, very focused learning about social entrepreneurship, which would likely help me to start this hybrid market idea that I just spoke about, which is probably my current top idea for impact. And it might help me push me toward that. I actually only expect that maybe 30 to 50% of what I'd learn would be highly relevant to that. But at the same time, I'd be very focused on it. I'd have 1 to 2 years of focused work on figuring out this project, on thinking about a lot of related ideas in business and social impact, and I could really kind of build this project into a much more clear vision, most likely. And so, again, doing my own entrepreneurship, I might be able to actually focus on it even more clearly, because I could learn 100% or close to that, exactly what I need to learn to be able to do this project. And so there would be some benefit to doing that, certainly. But then if I'm not focused and I just get distracted and I'm doing 10 things at once, and and then I get demotivated or whatever, it's like, it's very different than being in school, where you're kind of forced into like doing work. So that's my biggest fear about that, is that I would, if I don't do the social entrepreneurship degree, I would sacrifice this opportunity, and I might feel a lot of regret about that, or some regret about that. If I succeeded in the other path and was really successful, I don't think I'd feel any regret. But if things don't turn out how I want, maybe I don't make as much money, or the market crashes or something and it just goes badly, I might kind of wish that I had prepared more, or that I had had a degree and had more of a backup. or had more experience and had something to help me focus, there's a possibility that I'd regret it. I don't feel as enthusiastic about school. It just feels a little bit lukewarm. Like, it feels like a good option. It feels very safe. Like, I'd be in school, I'd be doing this thing that would have some level of productivity. I could still participate in the Effective Altruism community here, which is much smaller, but it's good people. And yeah, I'd be in a city that I don't like that much. I might be a little bit miserable here. I don't like school that much just because it's kind of like forces you to do stuff that like might not actually be relevant, and I don't like authority telling me what to do. Like, a little bit of a rebel streak, if you will. So I much prefer entrepreneurship, where I have that total freedom to do what's best for me. And yeah, so I don't really want to do school that much. There's a part of me that feels like I'd really like the image of it, like the idea of like, oh, I did a social entrepreneurship. I'm a Master of Social Entrepreneurship. I have this degree that says that, and I have this learning that I've had. Like, it just feels really good in a way, like that idea. But I'm not sure it's worth spending a year or two of my life on something that I don't feel is as exciting as going and making all this money and being able to finally support myself, being able to focus on all the projects that I want to focus on, and all the benefits that would come with living in a town that I like better as well. So I feel like itchy, like I want to get out of here and like go somewhere that I like a lot more. But I also feel very scared, like it might be really shitty if I leave this place and don't do something that actually would have made my life better and made my life more impactful, and that I just would have felt good about, that I earned this degree. Yeah, so I feel very uncertain. Let me think if I missed anything here. Alright everyone, so I decided what I'm going to do is just read the end of this. I think it really sums it up quite nicely. So to sum up, on the one hand, I would like to do Turo car sharing in the San Francisco Bay Area because I could probably quickly make enough money to allow me to retire and focus the rest of my career on creating positive impact. I think I would find better connections there, which would be good for my personal dating life and for having maximum positive impact on effective altruism projects. On the other hand, if I do my master's in social entrepreneurship degree, I would probably enjoy it somewhat, learn some skills that would help create a hybrid market, would have some time to learn a little more about effective altruism, and could probably still move to the Bay Area and do the other plan a year or two later. I would feel a little better about myself and more prepared and confident after doing the degree. I am not as highly enthusiastic about this path, but think it has some merit, and I may feel some regret not taking it. My main question and uncertainty I am trying to answer is whether staying here, doing the degree, and getting a little more prepared is worth more than the opportunity cost of going to the Bay Area now and taking more concrete, though also more risky, action on moving my life forward. I really appreciate any thoughts, feedback, or ideas on this. What is your first overall impression and intuition? Any clarifying questions for me? Anything I'm missing? What would you advise me to do? So that's about it. I think that's about all I can say about this. I really do appreciate any advice so much. Again, you can read the post if you want in the description. You can comment on the Effective Altruism forum, or you can comment on this YouTube video if you like as well. So yeah, thanks so much for listening to this in advance and commenting, and hope to talk with you all soon. All right, bye.